How you doing, my friend? It's Ty Hicks, results coach and national influence and leadership trainer. I'm so excited to have you here today because I wanted to share with you one of the most powerful strategies that I've found to help you actually improve every area of your life at once. Okay, now I know that's a big fat claim, but once we dive in, I think you're going to see the power of this, and I think you'll find this a very valuable exercise. Now, this is going to be interactive, so I am going to ask that you get a pen and a piece of paper. Okay, this isn't really something you can do on a computer. So you are going to need to have a pen and a piece of paper, and let's just dive right into it. So this is what I like to call the wheel of life, all right? And what you're going to do on your pen and paper is draw a replica of what you see here on the screen, okay? So first of all, draw a big circle, and you want to divide this into 6 unique slices, I guess, if you will, or segments. And then once you've done that, what you want to do is you need to have a total of 10 lines in the circle. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 right here. So you're going to draw 10 circular lines, okay, inside of the circle. So make sure that you do a replica of what you see here. It doesn't have to be dotted necessarily, but if you want to make it a different color, that would be fine. But make sure that none of the lines are touching. Make sure that they're all separated. Okay, now what this wheel of life exercise is meant to do is these 6 segments represent 6 discrete areas of your life. It's a good way for us to look at it. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a bit of an assessment today to determine how far along you are on the path of where you want to end up being at, okay, in each one of these significant areas. So you'll see what I mean as we dive in on each one. All right, so number 1, mission and career. So here's what I want you to do. The innermost point of the circle represents 0, and then the outermost line represents 10. And obviously you can surmise that this is going to mean 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 10 at the very end. So here's what you're going to do. You've got your circle and you've got your lines. And if you haven't done this yet, okay, please do it right now because you're going to have to follow along and keep up with this. Now what I want you to do is we're going to go through each one of these segments of your life, and I want you to honestly assess how fulfilled you are on a level of 0 to 10. Okay, so in the vein of mission and career, 0 would be absolutely, completely unfulfilled whatsoever. You are utterly miserable with your career. You hate it. You have to leave. You're putting in your 2 weeks notice today. You're done with it. You're so sick of it. Okay? Chances are you're not going to be a 0 on any of these, by the way, if you're really being fair with yourself. Now, a 10 would mean you are, in your dream job. You love it. You are completely in love with your work. You're so excited. You feel purposeful every single day. There's a deep meaning you have attached to your work, and it just keeps getting better. You feel like you're growing. You're being challenged. You're stimulated by the work. You're excited. Okay? That would be a level 10. So the real question is, honestly, okay, from 0 to 10, where would you be? Go ahead and mark that now. All right, now the next segment is going to be health and energy. So here a 0 would mean, geez, I don't know, there really wouldn't be a 0 because you'd probably be dead, okay? But let's say, 0 is you feel completely unhealthy, you feel totally lethargic, you've got headaches all the time, you don't feel good about how you look, right? You utterly are dissatisfied completely with your health, your energy, and your body image. Okay, number 10, however, would be you are completely through the roof about how you feel, how you look, you've got energy, you are healthy, you are excited, you just feel very good, you feel vital and energetic. Okay, that would be a number 10. So honest assessment, where are you at 0 to 10? Now, by the way, if you gave yourself a number that you would think is kind of low, like maybe like a 3 or a 4 or even lower, don't freak out, okay? Don't freak out. The whole point of this exercise, firstly, is to figure out where are you at right now, because then what we want to do is get an assessment of what it would take for you to get to a level 10 in each one of these areas, all right? All right, now number 3 is relationships. So not just in the context of romantic relationships, but your family, your friends, your coworkers, right? Just think of the overall richness of the relationships you have in your life. So a 0 would be, I don't know, you're totally alone, you have no relationships at all. That's very unlikely. And a 10 would be you're just totally enamored with your relationships. They're deepening all the time. You've got a close group of friends. Your romantic relationship is going great. You feel close to your family, and you've never been happier with where your personal relationships are. Okay, that would be a 10. So do an assessment there. All right, next would be spirituality. Now, listen, I'm not necessarily a religious guy in the traditional sense of the word. I don't know what your religious beliefs are. That's fine. But here's what I do know. Human beings have to feel deeply connected to whatever it is that they believe is their creator. And even if you're not necessarily a religious person, if you consider yourself to be totally secular, then that doesn't still mean that you can't have a spiritual experience. And maybe you practice meditation. Mindfulness is very important to you. Maybe you feel spiritual just being out in nature, right? I don't know what it is for you, but I do know that each one of us craves that sort of transcendental experience where we feel like we're connected with something greater than ourselves. So whatever it is for you, whatever your spiritual beliefs, whatever your spiritual goals, now I really want you to just assess from 0 to 10, how fulfilled are you in this area? So 0 might be, maybe you feel like you're going against what your creator desires of you, or you don't feel like you're acting in accordance with your inner values, what the universe wants from you, etc. Maybe 10 is you feel completely content with your place in the universe. You feel at ease, you've got inner peace, you feel mindful, you feel connected, and you regularly feel rejuvenated in this sense. That might be a level 10 for you. But again, your own specific definition is going to have to be applied here because I don't know what your religious or spiritual beliefs are, okay? Next is going to be emotional well-being. So on a regular basis, how good do you feel? Do you feel happy, exhilarated, exuberant, right? If life were exactly how you wanted it to be today, how would you be feeling on a regular basis? That would be your level 10, okay? And then 0 would maybe mean, suicidal, depressed, anxiety attacks, right? That might be some of the extreme instances here at a level 0. So where are you at 0 to 10 in overall emotional well-being? Are you an angry person? Are you stressed? Are you anxious, right? Just take that into consideration and give kind of a little bit of a gut check there. Where are you at 0 to 10? Okay, and then finally your finances. So 0 would mean you're totally broke, you're living on the street, who knows how the hell you're watching this video right now, because you're that broke, okay? That would be a 0. 10 would be, you're in abundance, right? You're on a path to financial freedom. If you haven't yet achieved it already, you're on your way. You've got enough money to meet your needs and then some. Your financial goals are met. That would be level 10, okay? So now you've gotten a dot on one of the lines here on each one of these segments. So that's great. Now the next thing that you need to do is you need to, let's say that right here you put a number 4 on health and energy. What you need to do is solidify this line here. Just kind of, make that line a little stronger so you can see it very easily. And go ahead and do that really quickly for the rest of these lines, regardless of where they ended up, okay? Now, the question is, once you do that, you can even fill in these sections if you want to, so you can just see it better visually. Now, the real question is, if this were the wheel on your car of life, how fast could you drive that car? Okay, now the answer usually is a chuckle on this one because it's usually not pretty good. If your results were like what most of my clients had, you probably had a couple areas where you were at maybe a 2 to a 4. You might have had 1 or 2 where you were at a 4 to a 6. And then there might have been one of these areas where you felt like a 7 or 8. Okay, most people don't typically assess themselves as higher than a 7 or an 8 when we initially do this exercise. So you might be looking at this and getting a little worried. Well, don't get worried. The first point of any successful map is the starting point, right? If we want to get you a map that's going to help you get to the ultimate destination of where you want to go, we have to know, firstly, where the hell do you want to go? And secondly, where are you at right now? And then we can have a lot of really exciting conversations about how we get you there in the most effective way possible. So you've got this filled out. That gives you a good assessment. Now, here's the next thing that I want you to do. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to describe next to each one of these sections, or if you want to kind of draw a line so you have more space, that's fine. But what I want you to do is describe what level 10 would look like in each of these areas. And try to do it in maybe 3 bullet points. You know what I mean? So for your mission and career, okay, what would a level 10 mission and career really look like? Describe your dream job. And even if you don't know what the job would actually be, how would you be doing the job, right? Like, how would it make you feel? What kind of work would you be doing? Would you be working with a team? What kind of relationship would you have with your boss? What would your work mean? Would you be the master of your own schedule, right? Like different things like that. Would you be working with your hands or in an office? What I want you to do is get clear on what the target would be here in each one of these areas. That's what's important, because remember what I said, a map is only valuable if we know where you are and where you want to be. Well, now it's time to get really clear on where it is that you want to be in as vivid of detail as you possibly can. So you should honestly take a solid couple of minutes per section. So you're really going to need to pause now and take some time on this. But similarly, health and energy. What would it really mean for you to have all your health goals met? What would that really mean? Would you have to lose 10 pounds? Would you be sleeping a little bit less, feeling a little bit more energetic, right? What exactly would be the epitome of perfect health for you? Next, relationships. What would that really look like? Really get specific here. How frequently would you be talking to people? What would you be doing together, right? If it's your romantic partner, really describe this. How would you be working with them to create the best relationship you possibly could? Spirituality, what would be those goals? Would there be structure there? How would you be navigating that? Emotional well-being, if you are showing up as the best you every single day, what would be the emotions that would describe that? Okay, try to pick 3 to 5 that would really describe that. And then finally, finances. So what would be your concrete financial goals? Don't just put, I want to make more money. Get really clear here. How much money would you be wanting to make every year in order for you to feel like your financial goals were really met? Okay, or do you have a different goal? Do you want to put a kid through college? Are you trying to afford a sports car? Right? Like, what is the actual concrete financial goal that would make you feel level 10 fulfilled? Okay, so pause me now if you need to, take a minute, but you've got to do yourself a favor and really get clear on this, because if you want to move things forward, you've got to figure out where you're actually headed. Take a minute now and do that. Now, assuming that you've actually done that and mapped this out, you now have done some really important work. You first of all know where you are right now, and you know where you want to go. Now, the title of this video was One Strategy to Improve Every Area of Your Life. Well, that brings us to the crux now of what I want to ask you, which is, which one of these areas, if you focused on it, would improve every other area? Okay? That's what I really want you to answer here critically. Now that you know where you want to go in each one of these areas, which one of the areas, if you gave it special attention and focus, would actually improve every single other area? Okay? Now, I'm gonna give you a minute to answer. Go ahead and pick which one you think and put a star by it, okay? Now, what I'll tell you is a lot of people tend to find the mission and career one is really important for them in this area, because if you're improving your mission and your career, if you're really doing what you're passionate about, you're probably gonna see your finances improve. You're also probably gonna have a much greater emotional well-being, because work is a very important part of our lives. You'll also probably feel healthier, more energetic, and more just overall excited about life, and your relationships might actually improve. Now, the second most common one that I get is health and energy. Some people really think that if they master their health, if they get on a regular routine, if they start improving their health, that everything else will be improved. And I would actually agree with that as well. I would say the third most frequently chosen one is probably relationships, because if you have a bedrock foundation of, a very solid foundation with some of your relationships, they can actually help you feel confident enough and feel secure enough to branch out and improve these other areas. But the whole point here is for you to realize that one of these areas, if given specific attention, could actually improve every single other area that you have. Now, what I want to do here is I want to ask you, what is an action that you could take in that specific area in the next 12 hours to actually start the forward path of momentum, okay? And now it's going to be on you to actually take action and use this tool and make it worth something, okay? So what is going to be an action that you can take in the next 12 hours for that specific area, and you need to commit to go and do it, because look at the consequences. Look how much of a consequence it's going to have on the rest of your life if you either do or do not take control of that area. So please do yourself a favor and make it happen. Get clear on that. And in fact, if you want to go overkill, if you want to be super high performer, then what you should do is you should actually pick an action you can take for each area in the next 24 hours. Okay, and start taking action. It's going to be a big day for you, so I hope you're excited. But make this happen. Start the path to momentum. The next video I have coming to you in a couple of days is how to set a new standard. So if you feel like you've perpetually not been able to get yourself to do the things you need to do, and you're unsure how to give yourself that kick in the ass you need to tune into this next video. So I hope this video has served you on one strategy to improve every area of your life. Use this tool, take action, go out there, be purposeful and intentional, and design an extraordinary life. I'll talk to you again soon. Take care.